Hi, everyone. My name is Stassi. I'm so excited to be hosting this roundtable today. So, for today's roundtable, it is for Sims 4 storytellers and authors. I started this Discord. It was back in probably about May or June of this year because I wanted to create a safe space for Sims 4 authors and storytellers to be able to tell their stories and be able to be heard and just to share their stories and find readers. So I thought today would be really fun if I hosted my first ever roundtable where we would take a deep dive on some of our sim stories and just kind of talk about them and what inspired us. So thank you so much, Eleesha and Riley, for being here today.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
The pleasure is mine. Absolutely. The pleasure is mine. I'm going to start off. I'm going to do some introductions. So my name is Stassi. I'm 28 years old. I live in Ontario in Canada. I have been playing The Sims since 2003, kind of off and on. I started writing Rose Chronicles, which is the story, my Sims story, about 8 years ago. And I finally had the courage this year to start releasing it because as soon as I joined Instagram, I saw there were other Simmers who were sharing their story. And I thought this would be such an amazing platform to share my story on. A little other backstory about me is I am dyslexic and I have a hard time reading. And it was something my whole life I've really struggled with. And now I'm very comfortable to say it because before people just be like, oh, like your daughter's just slow. Like clearly she just can't read. No, like when I read things like it doesn't make sense in my mind. So I always read comic books. So that's what kind of gave me the idea to release Rose Chronicles as more of like a Sims comic book style. Because for other people out there like me who have a hard time maybe reading and understanding like how a character may feel or maybe not understanding like the words, you don't have to. You can see their emotions. And that's something I also want to convey as well as like, my story is in English, but I have readers from all over the world who have asked me to send chapters in different languages. And I absolutely will, because I want everyone to be able to understand my story. Or maybe you don't understand what I'm trying to say or the word, but you can look in the photo and you can see how Alexa's feeling or how Oliver is feeling. So I finally built up the courage to start releasing it. And now I'm 20 chapters out so far. So yeah, so there's a little bit about me. How about you, Eleesha? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's interesting that you said that because when I was a kid, I was classified with a learning disability. So like with me, it's really hard for me to. I've gotten a little bit better, but I feel like one of the issues I have is trying to understand certain information, or like even with my writing. Like when I write, I have to like reread things over and over and over and over again because I don't know if it's because I know two languages or what it is, but it's just like really hard when it comes to grammar for me. Even in my full-time job, like I just have like a hard time and just like the part of writing. And then sometimes I have a hard time focusing. Like I think at one point I was gonna be classified with ADHD and attentive type. But it's just like when I'm in, like around a lot of people or like if there's too many things going on at once, like I get distracted really easily. Like it's like really hard for me to focus. So it's like interesting that you said that because like I felt like it's not the same thing, but like it's just the fact that going through those struggles, like I completely understand. More about myself, right? So I actually started playing The Sims like in and during my high school days, like maybe in 2005, between 2000 to 2005, a friend in high school actually introduced me with The Sim for the first time. And I didn't know about it, and she told me. And then after that is where like I got into The Sims 2, The Sims 3, and I actually got my niece into The Sims too. And then she ended up getting The Sims 4 before I did.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she got into Sims 2 and so even it was anime, like I'm into anime. So my nephews are like worse at anime than I am. So then my nephew is like, I think he's 21, so he's like an adult at this point. And he's like, yo, like, I got you. I got my account and you want to watch some anime. I'm like, okay, cool. And make you all these recommendations.
I love that. My oldest niece is 16 and I'm 28. So like we're very kind of close in age. And she's like her now, she's just like this person. Like she's just like she's an adult. Like she's 16 going on 30. Like she'll look at me. She's like, yeah, I got my G. So like next year, so like I can drive to your wedding. Like it's perfect. I'm like, I used to pick you up from daycare when I was your age. But no, that's awesome. And thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about yourself. It can be scary to share those aspects about your life, but something I really want to do on this podcast and just literally everything moving forward is making that conversation more normalized and being okay to say, my name is Stassi, my name is Eleesha, and I have a learning disability, but I'm still 100% me.
Yeah.
And I can be me, and don't judge me. Maybe I don't pick everything up right away, but I can still be me. So thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
And last, we got Riley here. Riley, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yay!
Yeah. So I don't have a learning disability, but what happened really early in my life is I ended up getting depression when I was 9.
Oh my gosh.
And what one of the ways that I decided to cope with that was through writing. I just kept on writing no matter what. And most of the time I wrote about my feelings, but it started forming into characters and other stories and things that I felt inspired by. And so when I finally grew up and started playing The Sims, I didn't know that there was this whole entire platform for people who were telling stories using The Sims. And earlier this year, I found that out and I was like, man, I want to do that too. And I was a little obsessed with BitLife. And so I decided to do like a BitLife controls my Sims type story.
Okay.
And it was just one way that I could express myself and be able to create stories.
No, that's awesome. That's amazing. No, I thank you for sharing that. And not only talking about learning disabilities, but mental health and bringing it to the table and saying that this is me on my good days and my bad days. And some days I have good days and some days I have bad days, but you have to still love me regardless. And thank you so much, Riley, for sharing that.
No problem.
Okay, perfect. I was like, oh no, did we lose you?
No, it stopped working there for a second, but I'm good.
No, that's totally okay. So let's talk a little bit about our Sim stories. I will go last. Riley, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, since I've already talked a little bit about it.
Yes. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So I was really into BitLife Controls My Sims episodes on YouTube, and I was really excited about that. And so that's what I decided that I wanted to base my series on.
Okay.
And it's followed me pretty much this whole entire year. It was a character named Maria, and she was in Mexico, and just following her life and what happened in her life. And a lot of people were really excited because they had never seen a Simstagram that had done something like that. And around like May, I was like, man, I really want to do like a BitLife Controls My Sims machinima, because that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And I finally was able to do it. I decided to do, I sort of called it BitLife Controls My Criminal Story, because it was about this girl named Jade, and basically her trying to go through the mafia. And that's basically where I'm at. My Sims game stopped working, so I'm now trying to create machinimas and scripts for other people. So
no, that's awesome. And that's a very cool machinima. And I think that's what I love about machinimas. They're all different. They're very, very different. I think that's really exciting. Riley, have you checked out? So the Sims Up has their own magazine now, and it's coming out for its first issue dedicated just to machinimas. It's like Machinima Life. And they're always
I heard about that.
Yeah. And they're looking for writers, like they're looking for directors, they're looking for this stuff now. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. And then I can.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. I'll send you in their direction because the leader of it is Mom Cave and she's awesome.
Yes, definitely. Let me know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know you said writing. Who have you written some scripts for out of curiosity?
Well, so it's very new. I've done a lot of scripts for myself. Okay. But I just barely recently started reaching out. We talked a little bit about this before, but I'm trying to write a script for OMG Sims. And then there's another simmer who's on the Discord, who is Eternal Pro.
Yes.
And she's asked me to write her series for her. So I finished the first episode a couple weeks ago and I'm working on the second. And yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm awesome. I was happy that you were able to connect with people on the Discord as well. And I that's why I did it. So like we can all talk with one another and we can even bounce ideas off one another. Just kind of be like, hey, sorry.
Yeah, it's been like it's okay. Zoom is hard with that, you know?
Yes.
But it's actually because of the Discord that I'm able to write these scripts for other people. And it's just been amazing.
Well, I'm so glad. And that's why I created it. I created it for everybody to, be able to, write, talk, speak, do any story, anything about that. But we'll definitely dive a little bit deeper in your story. But Eleesha, tell us a little bit about your Sim story.
So I'm trying to figure out where do I start. So I have a series called The Fantasy Royal Family. And it's basically, there's a few people that kind of inspired it. I think everybody knows Mira Ray. She's like one of the top of the individuals.
The queen.
The queen, yes. The queen. The Royal Family series. So like me watching her series kind of like inspired mine. And I've been trying to work on that series for like, I think the last 2 years or so. But it's just like, she's just a genius. A genius of it. So she did inspire me in that. And then the storyline that I'm working on right now, or like some people have already saw like some of the posts coming out, was inspired by Raining Whim. She actually has her medieval style type of story post on Instagram. And then another simmer is Ivory M, and she has an account in Twitch. She does a lot of builds and she's awesome. And if you go to my Instagram page where it's fantasy_royal_family, like you'll see like what you call it? The like symbols.
Yeah.
Like royal symbols for like each of the kingdoms. So she actually helped me and like inspired and like gave me those ideas. So the story starts with the character that Rainy Rim created, like the actual sim is actually her story. So like me and her was talking about like how can I use her character in my Royal Family series, and she gave me the idea of like her being like one of the most powerful elven of the world, or like a elven that has so much powers compared to the other elvens, that she's like special and like having like type of a love story. So the story starts basically with Saria Ludan, who is part of the Ludan family. And Ludan family is like one of the most important elven family in the kingdom, but they kind of disappeared a long time ago. And she starts out with just looking for her mother, and she goes on an adventure and looking for her mother, and then meets up like with different friends. So it's like kind of like a journey. And each kingdom that she passes by, she's solving problems for each kingdom with issues that they have. But then the whole kingdom in itself has like this great enemy called Queen Dementia she's basically is causing a lot of chaos in the kingdom. And like and Saria going through all these kingdom helping out, she sees like kind of like evidence of like the trauma that everybody has been going through because of Queen Dementia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's very in-depth. I love that. That is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Last but certainly not least, so I is the Rose Chronicles. I post on Instagram once a week. It follows the story of Alexa Rose. She is a light demon and she is an art world. Her family is demons as well. She doesn't really know a lot about her family. She's really kind of kept in the dark because she's the most powerful demon to exist, but she's not ready to know that power yet. She's about 14 years old. So she's just kind of living out her day-to-day life as a high schooler at 14. Like she knows she has powers, but she doesn't really use them, like at school or anything. Like she just hangs out with her friends. And another important character is Oliver. So everybody in Roseville thinks that Oliver is her brother, but he is not. He is another demon. His backstory, he doesn't really know who he is either. He just knows that he just showed up one day at Alexa's home and is now basically you're part of this family, like you're under my protection. And he begins to realize that like why am I here? Like I'm clearly not part of this family. And he's just really upset. He's just kind of like left in the dark. And he's also very much in love with Alexa. But Alexa's a little too young to not fully understand what love is. This is very just scratching the surface, but what is happening? So Damon is the leader of the dark demons and he is after her. And he will stop at nothing to find her. And that's why she was brought to our world, a world without magic, because they thought that she would be safe here, but he finds her. And Rose Chronicles is just really about him finding her and just kind of seeing Alexa grow. This story is very in-depth. It's actually a 3-book series. We're just in book 1 right now. So I just released the 20th chapter this week, and there's a lot going on. If you haven't had a chance, it's really kind of based like Game of Thrones, but high school level. It's kind of like what I was kind of really going for. It's very in depth. As well, I do YouTube videos to explain new characters coming in. So I had 3 new characters introduced this week. So I did videos for them as well. This story, like I said at the top of this, is near and dear to my heart. I've been writing it for a long time, and I finally had the courage to release it. And I'm so glad I did, because a lot of people have reached out to me and said, I really like this. I can't wait to see what's happening. Like I ship Oliver and Alexa, the Oliver and Nick, and just stuff like that. And if I'm able to provide joy to at least one person, that's all that matters to me. So there you go. There's a little snippet about Rose Chronicles. It's definitely there's I scratched the surface. Believe me, there's definitely a lot more there. But let's talk a little bit more about like where to find our stories and stuff like that. So Eleesha, I'm gonna let you go. Where can we find your amazing story?
So I've been posting. So what I've been doing is that like I'll post certain screenshots and certain images and stuff in my Instagram page at fantasy_royal_family, but then I also do videos.
Okay.
Like just describing like certain events, or I do certain events like for like if they have a birthday or someone in the world has a birthday or anything like that, like everything we post. I also have done like videos of like screenshots, just explain.
Oh no.
Characters and certain stuff that's going on. So in my YouTube channel is actually Eleesha J. Oh my gosh, I should have been more prepared. I got everything else prepared, but I just didn't have that prepared.
That's okay.
It's Eleesha J. Yeah.
Okay.
I was right. Yeah, Eleesha J is the YouTube channel.
Go subscribe to my girl. Stop what you're doing. Go subscribe to her. Check out her amazing story. I'm excited to continue reading it. And I know anybody else who wants a good story to start, this is a good read.
Oh, and by the way, is spelled Eleesha is the how you spell Eleesha.
Perfect. And then I'm going to get your Instagram links as well. So for the YouTube video, all they have to do is just scroll down and click it on so they can see it, and, and your YouTube as well. So I got you, girl. Anyways, Riley, where can I know your computer is having a sad, but that does not mean that your work is not out there. So where can we find your stuff?
Instagram is Riley_Tate18 and YouTube is Riley Tate.
Love it. That's awesome. And like I said, links are going to be below for everybody and in the podcast as well, linking to everyone's Instagram. So after you listen to this podcast, please go check out these amazing simmers. Before we go, Eleesha, is there anything that you'd like to plug for your story that you haven't yet?
Another part of the series is that there's also a side character where a lot of the story is going to focus on. So Saria ends up having a bunch of friends, but one of her main friends is Kira Beowulf. She's actually a royal princess, but for the werewolf kingdom. So maybe that's part I didn't explain. So I have 9 kingdoms, but I don't focus so much on all of them. So I have, I think, 4 spellcaster royal family. I have 1 vampire royal family, 1 werewolf royal family, a mermaid royal family, an elven, and a fairy. I know. I'm obsessed.
I love it. I love a good werewolf royal family. Yes.
Yes.
And I can't wait to go read it.
Right?
So like her, I haven't posted a lot on her, but so one of her love is actually Caspian, but his name is not Caspian from the character from Mireille that she uses, but his name is not Caspian, it's Dario, and he's actually from the Black Wolf clan.
Oh.
Yes, and they were friends when they were little, but she got separated when she was a child by her aunt because she's known as the Great White Wolf, and in the werewolf kingdom, a white wolf is known to be the most powerful wolf, and they're very magical. So even her father kind of wanted to use her powers to bring destruction and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff involving that. But with her, it's in the fantasy world family that there's gonna be a lot of posts even in the future regarding Kira and then also Saria Ludan, because there's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen to them as the series goes on. So those are the more important 2 important characters in the series.
Amazing. I'm hooked. I was hooked before. Now I'm double hooked. I love it.
Triple hooked.
Triple hooked. Yes. Triple hooked. No, that's awesome. I guess for me, I mean, if you want to check me out, Stassi J on Instagram, Stassi J Sims 4 on Instagram, because that's how cool I am. I actually forget my own Instagram handle. I am the Rose Chronicles as well on Instagram. I'm Stassi J on YouTube. I post there every week. Sometimes about Rose Chronicles, sometimes just normal stuff, creative Sims builds, all that fun stuff. But definitely Rose Chronicles. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, please go check it out. It's a good story. It's a good read. It's a slow burn is how it's been described to me this past week. It's a slow burn. So it's definitely worth it. It's a lot to read, a lot of characters to get involved, but it's definitely worth it. But I really want to take a quick minute and say thank you so much to Riley and Eleesha today for, taking time out of your busy day, being part of this. Thank you so much. It really does, mean the world to me that we can sit here and talk about something that we truly love.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, of course you're welcome. You guys are a great part of the Discord, and I'm very happy that you guys wanted to come join and just, feel comfortable sharing your stories and, being here today, talking about, personal struggles that we've gone through and just, being able to coping with the Sims or just, being able to just sit here and talk about it. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, this is going to be the first of many roundtables. I'm going to do another roundtable as well for anybody who would like to share their sim story who couldn't do it today. I do know there was a couple people that were interested. They just weren't able to do it today. That's absolutely fine. I'm thinking about doing another one in November. You lovely ladies are welcome to come back as well and give up new updates to where your stories are. I can't wait to share everything with you again. So like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It was amazing. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you.
You're very welcome.